I heard about solar, but modules no.
Okay. Well, anyways, we're NSky Solar. My name is Victor Asuncion, and I'm the president and CEO of NSky. Basically, what we do is we build solar energy systems for homes so that they could save electricity and most often the time, zero their electric bill. So this is our office here in the heart of NCR, Caloocan City. The heart of renewable energy. This is our office. So, may I ask you, what questions do you have for me today, Ador?
How to start building solar?
How did I start building solar? Well, I started when I was a little kid. I grew up in the Middle East, and I saw that back in 1980s, between 1980s and 1990s, they were already installing solar energy in remote locations there. So they installed solar energy for the King Faisal University. And I said, how come the Philippines don't use something like this, It's hot here. So when I moved for college here in the Philippines, studied in LaSalle, to all my LaSallian brothers out there, all my friends would tell me na sara mo yung pinto, lalabas yung aircon. So, nalito ko. Sabi ko, bakit lalabas yung aircon? Wala naman pa yung aircon. So, nalilito ako, bakit lalabas yung aircon? So, it's because lalabas pala yung lamig. So, tinitipid natin yung lamig, kaya sara mo yung pintuan. And most often the time, they would ask me, Ador, tara, labas tayo, punta tayo sa mall. Anong gagawin natin sa mall? Magpapalamig tayo sa mall. So, grabe, pupunta pa tayo sa mall, gagastos tayo ng gasolina, parking, tapos mapapagastos pa tayo doon ng pagkain, kung ano-ano pang mabibili natin. Bakit di na lang natin buksan yung aircon kung magpapalamig lang tayo? Kasi nga, mahal yung kuryente. So, that's what made me realize na, why not solar energy here in the Philippines? Where the sun is always here, it's always hot,
And it's free.
and it's free. The government can't tax the sun. Alangan naman takpan nila yung araw, di ba? Hindi naman nila magagawa yun. So it's free electricity. It has an ability to bring renewable energy to 7,107 islands, which the Philippines has, di ba? Unlike transmission wires. So sabi ko, this is a perfect thing that I should invest in. So I started back in 2015. Yon. I hope that answered your question, Ador. What's your next question?
What is the cost of a solar panel?
That's a great question. Actually, sobrang daming natatakot magtanong tungkol sa solar. Kasi sabi niya, hala, baka mahal yan, baka hindi ko afford. Baka mamaya, hindi masyado pala siya mahal, hindi ko mababawi yung return on investment ko. But believe it or not, back in 2015, 1 kilowatt energy system was being sold for 220,000. It doesn't cost like that anymore. Bumaba na ng sobra yung price ng solar energy natin. Do you know how much it costs now for 1 kilowatt? It's almost 75,000 pesos. So we have a promo right now, which a 5 kilowatt system hybrid would only cost you 395 as compared to 1,000,000 pesos back in 2015. So if you could, it's so much cheaper na ngayon. And your return on investment is looking maybe around between 4 to 5 years, conservatively speaking. So if you're using your electricity wise, you're probably gonna get your return on investment back in maybe 3 years. So that's how cheap it is now. I hope that answered your question again.
What are the lifetime savings for using solar?
Lifetime savings? You get your return on investment back between 3 to 4 years, right? So let's say we have a window of 3 to 5 years, depending on the way you use your electricity. And after that 5 years, yung lifetime savings mo, you get to benefit from that solar energy for the next 30 years ahead pa and beyond. Because the warranty on our solar modules is 30 years. So imagine, what other investments would garner you something like that? Do you think if you make a depository account into your bank worth 500,000 pesos, you'd get your money back in 5 years? Of course not. Inflation will eat you up. So the only risk really is if the sun doesn't rise back in the morning. Okay? Like parang, you know what, Ador?
Yeah.
Balitaan mo ako pag hindi na sumikat yung araw bukas, ha? I'll give you 100% of your investment back. But speaking seriously, let's talk about the real pros and cons. I mean, like, let's focus primarily on the cons lang. The major cons that I've seen about solar energy for the past 10 years of my career here in the Philippines. Number one is bagyo. Because if we're talking about a signal number 5, 240 km per hour wind speed, hindi talaga kakayanin. Any rooftop would lili pa rin. So, like us, we monitor the weather on a daily basis, especially during bagyo season. We tell our clients, it would be advisable na ibaba muna natin yung solar modules natin because it's at high risk because of the weather announcements. So Pag-asa would tell us na parang, okay, mag-ready na kayo, there's a huge storm that's coming. But that's a small thing that we can do as compared to the big reward that we'll get within that 30 years. So far, solar modules, fear ng mga tao dyan is, will it really last? Our 30-year warranty promises that. So some of the solar modules back 10 years ago na in-install namin, still today producing its rated capacity. So that's one of the great things about renewable energy. If you get really good quality products and really good quality installation workmanship, it's really there to stand for the longest time. Ayun. I hope that answered your question. If you have any other questions that would veer away from that question, please let me know.
So, you said around 30 years?
30 years, yeah, the warranty. 30
Already
years.
30 years? Are you sure with that?
I'm sure with that. Yes, of course. Our company has invested very deeply into our business. We have our own warehousing and importation process in order to get those solar modules here. We have a very, very tight-knit relationship with the manufacturer as well. Because we have to make sure that all the installations we do for our clients, if anything happens to them, we can run to the manufacturer. And the manufacturer as well should be able to have, it should have like a long-standing history in the manufacturing of solar modules as well to honor that warranty. So we've taken a look at all of those things. We spend a lot of really good time with our manufacturers, and we can guarantee you that you're in good hands. Not only that, but here pa lang sa Pilipinas, ha? Dito pa lang sa Pilipinas, our warehousing facility, it warehouses a certain level, a certain limit of stocking capacity that will just be there, it will just be kept there just in case one of our clients, they need, replacement. So hindi pa namin ibebenta yung area na yon. We're one of the solar companies out there na hindi nauubusan ng solar module. I promise you.
Since you said that we get our power from the sun,
Okay.
what happened at night?
At night, that's a really good question. Okay, at night, what happens? At night, what happens is that our solar energy system completely turns off if we're talking about a grid-tie system. But if we're talking about a hybrid system, a battery is connected to your system that will now allow to discharge the battery into the consumption of your house. So, alive pa rin yung system natin if you're working with a hybrid system. Okay? So, take a look at your batteries as a storage tank. Doon natin nilalagay yung kuryente natin, and at night, kukunin natin yung kuryente natin from the battery for our use now. Okay? So, but ideally, if we're asking ano ba talaga ang ginagawa ng solar module natin pag gabi, it's at sleeping mode. As soon as the sun sets down to a point na wala na siyang naka-harvest na radiance from the sun, nagpapahinga na ang ating solar module sa bubong. So that's one of the great things about the solar modules that we have. It's completely automatic. Wala ka nang isi-switch na parang, paano ba to? Paano ko naiwan yung wife natin sa bahay tapos biglang hindi niya alam kung paano gagawin niya, anong switch yung bubuksan at isasara. You don't have to worry about that. Because N-Sky's solar energy system is completely automatic. You don't have to worry about
We're talking about the hybrid, right?
We're talking about the grid tie or the hybrid system.
What happened if there's a power outage?
Okay, that's a really good question. Two systems, these are the two most common systems that we cater to, the grid tie and the hybrid system. So sa grid tie system, pag nag-brown out, because of the anti-islanding protection law, kailangan our solar energy system completely shuts down. Hindi siya pwedeng mag-remain functional. Okay? Kasi paano kung pinatay nila yung kuryente, nag-brownout, dahil may ginagawa sa transformer. So yung lineman ng Meralco or ng Aleco or kung ano mang cooperative yon will be put in harm's way if we allow our solar energy to export electricity. So ngayon, it's legally required to turn off. Now, hybrid systems are special because a hybrid allows you to produce electricity still kahit brownout because you have what we call an emergency power system. The emergency power system produces electricity on that side of its circuit to produce electricity to everything that's connected to the emergency power loads. So that could be your house lights, your refrigerator. Syempre, ayaw natin mabulok yung mga pagkain natin sa refrigerator, ayaw natin mabulok yon. It could be yung aircon kung may asthma ka, tapos ayaw mong, hindi pwede yung mainitan ako, kailangan lagi akong So, kailangan naka-on lagi yung aircon. So, those are what we call critical loads that we will connect to the emergency power system of the inverter. It will always remain powered. It will not turn off. And that's the beauty of the hybrid system. Ayun. So, did that answer your question, Ador?
Yes.
Sige.
During the morning, during where the sun is really up, so we actually generate more power from that, from the sun?
During when the sun is really up?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, ganito yan. When you wake up in the morning, let's say 6:30 in the morning, meron ng sikat ng araw. Meron ng sunlight. Pero hindi pa ganun kalakas. So, ang mangyayari dyan is our solar energy, when it reaches a certain level where the voltage meets our minimum startup voltage, what happens is that our inverter starts to, may tinatawag tayo dyan na technical term, which is checking phase. So, chine-check niya yung parameters if it's working. So, once na-check niya yung parameters if it's working, it goes into your waiting phase na ngayon. So, once na na-complete niya na-meet niya lahat ng minimum requirements in order for our inverter engine to run, it will continuously producing electricity. But, believe it, 7 a.m. in the morning, hindi pa ganun kainit yung araw. Hindi pa siya ganun katutok. So, ang production ng system natin would possibly be at like around 5%, 10%. And as we progress throughout the day, pataas tayo ng pataas, di ba? Painit ng painit. Kaya mapapansin mo yung mga tao pagdating ng 10, between 10 to 2 p.m., ayaw na niyan lumabas. Alam mo kung bakit? Kasi sobrang init na sa labas. Tirik na yung araw natin. That's when your solar is actually producing the most efficient electricity. Napaka-potent ng radiance ng araw natin that's what's converted into electricity. So that's a beautiful thing.
You spend most of the time in your house now, not going to the mall.
Exactly, Ador.
At hindi nalalabas.
Hindi ka nalalabas, di
Hindi
ba?
nalalabas yung aircon.
Hindi nalalabas yung aircon. Hindi ka na masyado Actually, if you think about it, this is just completely out of the topic, but it's a good discussion to have. Magkano matitipid mo pag nagpa-solar ka? May iwasan mong lumabas ng bahay. Hindi ka nagagastos. Hindi ka kung ano yung mga bibilhin mo na mga gadget, kung ano-ano mga abubot na naiipon sa bahay dahil nasa mall ka, nagpapalamig, lakad ka ng lakad, pasok ka ng, ano nga yung mga Korean store, Japanese store?
Miniso.
Yun, Miniso. So, bili ka ng bili. Di ba? Mr. DIY, kung ano na nabibili mo. Because lakad ka lang ng lakad sa mall. So, what solar does for people, and this is what I love seeing, for especially for the older generation, and they prefer to stay at home, is they begin to appreciate the simple pleasures of life. Like, nasa bahay lang kayo mag-asawa. Luto ka ng popcorn. Ngayon, yung mga TV, hindi na katulad nung dati, CRT ganyan kaliit. You can get a 65-inch TV. You don't need to go to the cinemas. Doon kayo, may Netflix na ngayon, napipili mo na yung gusto mong panuorin. Popcorn kayo ng asawa mo, manood kayo. That's one of the most, yan yung parang sobrang pastime namin ng wife ko eh. And you begin to appreciate those simple pleasures. Mas makakatipid ka. I promise you.
I have last two questions for you.
Sige.
Oh, my second to the last question. Do I need the roof to be able to have a solar panel?
Yes. Of course you do. Because a lot of clients actually are asking, mga condo owners, condominiums. So, ang problem is, saan natin ilalagay yung solar module? Sabi nila, pwede naman natin ilagay sa bintana. Although, yes, you can harvest a little bit of sunlight, it will not be that efficient as compared to your traditional homes like this babad na babad sa araw. So you do need a rooftop in order to be able to get solar installed in your home. Although, here's the good thing. It's not the end. Our company is developing new strategies, new ways to encourage people to get solar installed. We're coming up with investment programs where even condo owners, as small as 5,000 to 10,000 pesos, you can invest in purchasing your solar panels. But it won't be installed in your condominium. It'll be installed in a farm. But the electricity produced by that farm will go directly into your bank account. So it's like owning solar without owning a home. Kasi the majority of the younger generations nowadays, they're the ones who are more conscious about the environment. But the problem, the younger generation, wala pa silang investment to make that decision. Wala pa silang work, wala pa silang trabaho. But they already know the right areas to invest in, which is sustainability and keeping this Mother Earth safe, because this is our home. So you'll find it, you'll see it as generations and generations pass by. The generations later will be more focused towards investing in renewable energy and saving Mother Earth. So, ayun. We're down to our last question,
Okay,
Ador.
my last question.
I'm gonna miss you.
How fast can you install, or your timeline in building one?
Okay, that's a great question. For homes, it usually takes 3 to 4 days. We don't like rushing the job. Our concern is making sure na walang tulo yung mga bubong. Some installations are more difficult than others. May ibang bahay, slope, mababa. Ibang house, ganyan, medyo mataas, di ba? So it takes time. So we don't want to rush things. But for industrial installations naman, it is a little more complicated because we have to follow certain protocols, safety protocols. We need to make sure that the solar modules are aligned and in proper stringing. So it takes around 2 to 3 weeks if we're talking about maybe around a 50 kilowatt power commercial installation. Now for farms naman, solar farms, it takes around 3 to 6 months because you have to consider about the soil testing and all of those things. So I hope all of these questions nasagot ko yung mga all of these answers, nasagot ko yung mga questions nyo. All of this information has given you, na-enlighten kayo regarding these. There's so much more that we can talk about solar energy. And it's exciting because we're creating this platform where it's kind of like a question and answer. If you have any questions about solar here in the Philippines, you can comment down below. You can shoot a message. You can comment right down there. We'll get to you. We'll answer that. We could probably answer your question in the next video that we'll have. And if you're here and you really, really like this video, I hope that you will like and subscribe so that you can help us share more of the information and pretty much the knowledge about clean and green energy across the whole nation and eventually to the whole world. Ayan. Ador, do you have...
Yes.
Wala na tayong questions. I
Maybe
think
next time we should talk about how it works.
how it works. Yes, perfect. Sige. You're out of time, Ador.
Okay.
Thank you so much for this video and I'll see you soon. High five.